come I moving so slowly? Oh, I thought I upgraded this already. What the fuck, man? Extra party size. I must have clicked something. I must have canceled. I just realized we're recording. Welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Our YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially this Aserai campaign. If you notice the date here, we are well into the future in this campaign. If you missed an episode, you missed a lot. I would encourage you to check it out. It's episode, I think, 15. Wazu is now 61 years old, right? We have zoomed into the future. We've gotten our medieval time machine here. Even Arwa's got shades of gray in her hair. She's got 10 beautiful children, including 2 that have already come to age, Mata and Ruwa, and I will talk more about them in this episode and the future episodes. Mata is specced out and planned out to be obviously a party leader, right? She's going to be a general, even though maybe her combat skills are weak. She's going to lead troops into battle. I don't think I'm going to do all the perks here at the beginning of this episode. This is Ruwa. This is her younger sister, and she is a badass. It says on her profile that she is cruel, which is appropriate given that Arwa is cruel and deceitful. You know, I don't know. My wife is cruel and deceitful. I'm not quite certain that's a great thing. Here's Wahan the Golden. This is my lieutenant for this campaign. This is going to be the guy I'm pushing out there constantly with an army and hoping he does well. Of course, he'll be probably the first clan we make once we're independent. We are not independent. We are still part of the Aserai. And you know what? Our first son is due here in a week, 4 days. Cole will come of age. That won't remain his name. Some people might be inferring various things from the storyline. If you're not, I think I'll just let it be a surprise to you. But Cole is coming soon. This gal here is a companion we picked up. So is this gal here is another companion we picked up. She's got medicine skill. We are starting to prepare governors, right? We are starting to prepare governors that are good at healing troops because there's going to be a lot of war, right? Here's another healer, Thakir the Scholar. At this stage, I like to have 4 or 5 governors and 4, 5, 6 warriors for the clan. So we have a full army right now of our clan. All 600 and something troops are all our guys. And we are well into the future facing monstrous kingdoms. I mean, look at these total strength numbers. I don't know how they compare to vanilla, but they are huge, right? Every kingdom has 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 big armies in the field. So this is a very different game than vanilla at this stage. Of course, you want to check out the last episode to figure out how we did this. Remarkably, and I think wonderfully, most of the leaders survived. And look at this shit. Almost all of them have this boosted steward skill. Look at this one, 446. I don't know how this happened. I assume it is because of the strengthen AI mod or some other bug with my campaign, but all of the kings and queens and sultans have monstrous steward skills. Now all their other skills are boosted from the strengthen AI mod, but nothing like that, right? Nothing like 400 or 500. I originally planned on making some beastly leaders for this campaign. Evidently the strength in AI mod did it for me. And of course with that steward skill, not only will they get all the advantages of the steward perk, but they're going to have huge armies because you get additional troops with that steward skill. So we're still a vassal, right? We're still ostensibly, purportedly, supposedly part of the Aserai here. These dipshits have been really struggling in the last 20 years. And of course it was a time warp. So I just kind of watched them stagger around the battlefield at 16 speed. Wazu is collecting food because his children, we're role-playing of course, his children have finally urged him off of his throne. He's taken his bulk, his 450 pounds, wedged it into his armor, shoehorned it into his favorite plate mail. His children have armor. His children, one of them, Mata, is leading an army, and away we go here, right? We are back on the campaign trail. Wazu is becoming greedy again. If you look at the treasury, right, we're down to 6,000 or 600,000. So Wazu is concerned. His seneschal or bailiff or I guess advisor, counselor, medieval counselor says we're running out of money, so he put some of these companions to work as caravan drivers. They're not making very much money, right? They're most of them have only been doing it a week or two, but we're doing everything we can here to raise funds. I thought I thought I assigned Rua as scout. Rua is going to be our scout. I don't know if you picked that up or if I mentioned it. I will get into those details, usually not at the beginning of an episode. I'm going to cover the companions at various stages in this campaign, but I don't want to do it at the beginning of an episode and put you guys to sleep, right? To the Charlie Brown teacher, on this companion scout, and we're going to add a perk here. We're going to jump right into the action here, and hopefully there is action. Hopefully there are huge battles. This is the point of the campaign I was very excited for. Probably some of you are excited for, because it's an artificial but awesome environment. We're just doing this little tool quest. I just do little quests like this in a hurry. Don't worry, I'm not going to waste your time. That's why you always want to have some tools, right? We're just making it so that more troops are available. With the wars that are coming, we're going to need a massive amount of troops, right? Thousands of troops. Now, we only have one city, so we also need more places to store those troops, right? Because just like Americans, or probably Britons and other people in Western civilization, we buy too much shit because we're not satisfied with our lives, so people go retail shopping or whatever the fuck. They buy a bunch of stuff that makes them happy for 20 minutes, then they get remorse and all the other shit. I'm going to be continuing doing this too, and I will talk a little bit about these guys. Obviously, this guy's a pure warrior. He's going to be a blockhead who can destroy everybody. And then his brother, I think, is an archer. Yeah, he's an archer. So good eye and steady hand. And we'll just give him a pole arm. A couple of these companions I am going to arm with pole arms, right? We're going to have a little variety with the companions. I always find that optimal. Now check this guy out. I've always thought this guy was a badass, mean-looking warrior, and look at his stats again, right? We're pushing 300 on most of the stats. Again, this Strength and AI mod has turned this game into a whole new world. He's got nice troops. We'll pick him up. Of course, I'm picking up some armies because at this stage of the campaign, very difficult to run around with 400 or 500 troops and hope to have success. Why is that? I don't know what that is. Is that a sandstorm in Khuzait? Now, we do have sandstorms from the realistic weather mod, but at this stage, we're going to be facing armies that are routinely over 1,000, right? 1,500, maybe even over 2,000, and enemy lords that are incredibly powerful, right? Routinely with weapon skills in the 250s, sometimes over 300. So it's going to be really challenging. This guy's under attack. Speaking of really challenging, that didn't take long at all. I mean, I barely even got the intro to this episode up. He's fucked. We're not going to be able to save this guy. 300, 200. Even if I rushed there, he would have just a smattering of troops and we would probably get crushed. I've got this other companion coming to join us, so I'm going to wait. Wazu is now being advised by the very intelligent, very pragmatic Mata, his daughter. He loves Mata, that's his oldest daughter, and he loves that she's smart. Wazu is not particularly bright. He kind of staggers about, right? He was a busboy for 20 years. But his daughter is bright. She must get that from Arwa, or maybe a skipped generation or something like that. And so she's urging Wazu to be a little bit more cautious, especially since we're engaged against massive troops. I mean, look at that. He's got a massive amount of horse archers. He has over 1,000 horse archers. So here we go, right? The Strength and AI mod, we're going to call for even more help here, right? Discretion is the better part of valor here. Normally, I would have just barreled into that fight and, oh well, let's see what happens. And eventually, if we get some swagger back, oh shit. This is what I was talking about, right? Here we go. This did not take long at all. I mean, 3,200, almost 300, 3,300 Khuzaits just pouring in on us. I wonder if we can attack these in detail. We're going to try. But if we get back into the swing of things and I start feeling good about my playing skill and my command ability, then we will start tackling more audacious hosts. Ironically, Wazu... we're going to have to fight both of these, I think. Of course, normal player damage. Ironically, Wazu was on vacation, right? He basically sat in a chair for 15 years and got fat, and his skills kind of eroded. We're role-playing, of course. Well, my wife and I are in the process of buying property, and it has been sucking up a lot of my time. So I haven't actually played much. So it's part of the reason I didn't stream at all in November. That's what's been going on, and I'm probably not going to be able to stream a lot, maybe until the holidays time range. I apologize. I did say I would stream for this campaign. I will be streaming at some point for this campaign, but real life calls here. So Wazu and my own skills have been on vacation, right? I just haven't had the time to dive into this. Fortunately, you guys probably haven't noticed because I have enough content to keep you guys occupied. You guys are hungry for content, right? Keep you guys happy. All right, so here we go. Here I got a crossbow division. Wazu has a nice army here, right? He's commanding an army now over 1,000 actually, I didn't see how big it was. I think we have over 1,000. We have a crossbow division. We have 2 archer divisions, the 5th and 6th. And you guys can already tell, you strategists, you tacticians looking at this battlefield, we're fighting Khuzait. What are we going to do here? We're going to do reverse slope defense, right? They're going to come to us. They attacked us. It's 2,000 Khuzait. We want them to come to us. We want their horse archers to come over this ridge and be skewered by thousands of bolts and arrows. We've got horse archers. We've got javelins to throw at them. With the exception of Battania, nobody has the projectiles that the Aserai have, right? The Aserai have an incredible amount of things flying through the air that kill the enemy before they get there. I mean, once you get to tier 6, every single Aserai unit has something that flies through the air. All of them. Their shock troops, their infantry, their horse archers, their jav cav, all of them. It's pretty savage. So 3 different huge cavalry divisions, and I just realized you might be wondering what the fuck is going on. We have the battle size mod loaded. So this is going to be a titanic battle, right? Strap yourself in. This brings up something that's been on my mind. We are going to enter a stage, and we might be entering it right now, where one battle takes up most of an episode. That's just the nature of it, fellas. And I was thinking about that. At first I was like, well, maybe this might be a 50 episode series, right? It'd be really long. To be perfectly honest, fellas, this might be 100 episodes before this campaign is over. We're fighting gigantic hosts. That's too many in the 7th. Oh shit. That's why it looked weird. I don't have a horse. Get off. I need your horse. Oh shit, I kicked his horse into the netherworld. It vanished. Alright, get back on your horses, fellas. It's fine. We'll roll with it. Anyway, so these battles are going to be long. Strap yourself in. Of course, these are do or die, right? We are captured here, and if we're captured here, we're going to be in bad shape because they're going to siege and probably take our capital, right? Danustica here is the only city we have. So this is a stressful battle for me. The power bar says it's kind of close. That's probably because we have higher quality troops, but it's still a massive amount of horse archers. And don't forget, the enemy lords, all their troops, everything is upgraded. This is basically like playing Bannerlord on Bannerlord difficulty on crack, right? The enemy is going to be ferocious here. Kill them all, they say. They're coming roaring in here. I jumped off my horse on accident. We're going to try not to get killed here in the first 5 seconds. They're coming at me from every angle. I just wanted to scout them. I didn't realize I was going to get swarmed. Fucking chasing me and shooting me. Motherfucking insolent Mongols. I got some javelins for you punk asses. Catch. I love it when they go flying off the horse like that. Evidently, I still got some javelin skills retained. We're not too rusty. Buying land is something that my wife and I have dreamed about doing for years. We're going to have a farm, a homestead. We're going to have chickens and cats and dogs and, grow a lot of our own vegetables. It's a really superior way to be happy in life, feel like you're accomplishing something, and obviously stay healthy. All the activity, all the good food, all of the positive chemicals that your brain gets when you have like baby ducklings and shit like that. These are all things that we really need in our life, in our artificial life, and my wife and I are going to pursue it. Now, speaking of pursuing, right, I am bringing the 7th and 8th Corps in on the enemy's side here because I want to sort of close the door. Now that they're charging, they're in our backfield. We welcome them to our party. The main dish is beheadings, and for dessert, you get dismembered and enslaved as part of the Aserai, right? We are going to close the door on these Khuzait and do some butchering here. Now, I'm still getting used to my two-handed weapon with Wazu. It's extremely slow, right? It's a big, long, two-handed axe. And I'm used to I'm used to Zuvan, which is my previous character. A much faster axe or a much faster pole arm, so it's a little bit clumsy. But obviously the death spam is exactly what I was hoping for with the decline slope defense, or peekaboo ridge, sometimes you'll hear me refer to. It's the same idea. You're basically forcing the enemy to come to your defensive location where their archers can't assist. Their archers can't even come over that hill. They'll get charged by cav and infantry. And so we have their horse archers to ourselves here. And obviously, if all of your units are coming to bear on their horse archers, that's a good recipe for success. Now, we don't have as many horse archers as them, right? They have like 300. They have a massive amount, maybe 400. I didn't actually see the number. Cutting down their nobles still. This axe will still one shot. She was probably wounded though. But this axe is still going to do some major damage, right? It's gonna behead some fucking Khuzait horsemen. I'm charging with the infantry here, by the way. Sometimes I'm not going to tell you everything, especially when I'm talking about various different things. We're doing that to maximize the death here, to try to prevent them from getting out of here without paying a severe price. They're going to cycle out, right? They have way too many horse archers to trap and kill in one sort of salvo. But we definitely dealt them an ass whipping there. Do a little bit of pursuing here, and we will regroup. But our horse archers also include javelins, right? So you guys typically know how it goes. Unless you take a really bad arrow shot, it does like a quarter or a fifth of your damage. You might one-shot an enemy troop, but I'm speaking of the enemy and our allies. Like when our units have horse archers on the field, it's death by 1,000 pricks, right? You got to get hit with like 10 arrows in Bannerlord, unless you have terrible armor. But a javelin will one-shot guys, or at least 2-shot, 3-shot. So these Aserai Ferris are very effective early in a battle, right? As they're dumping their huge javelin loads, I think they get 4 or 5. They're doing major damage, and obviously that damage is front-loaded. Then they turn into sort of mediocre spear cav. But what I've found so far, in my experience, these horsemen are backwards for some reason. Turn around, dipshits. What I've found is that they have really good front-loaded damage and do quite well in an extended battle like this. Now, we're going to be patient. Of course, it helps that I have the RBM mod, or which mod? Yeah, we've got the battle size mod, that one. I need more caffeine here, in fact. I'm going to take a little... Guys are astonished to hear that I will drink while I'm playing. It can't be that hard, right? All right, so letting their horse archers again come to us. We're just circling around here with the 7th and the 8th. We're staying moving because we don't want to be a static target, right? Horse archers just pelting you in the face while you're standing still is not a good recipe for success. And I'm starting to watch Wazu's health. I forget very readily that this battle might be 20 or 30 minutes, and Wazu does not have elite armor, right? Hopefully, eventually, we can acquire some really good armor, but I don't even think we have a fine... What's the first tier upgraded armor? I mean, you guys don't need to write it in the comments, but I think it's fine or something like that. We don't even have fine tier 6 armor. So we're still sort of gathering our armory and we're sending letters to the dwarves in Gimli and see if they can, make up some really nice armor for us, right? We've got plenty of gold, right? We'll give them some food, some gold. But the point is that I've got to be relatively careful with Wazu and sort of hold back my instincts. Sort of a curse that I played Zuvan for a year. Because now I'm used to this He-Man on the battlefield that barely takes any damage and just cuts a path by himself through the enemy. It's probably going to have a negative effect on this campaign, at least until I get better armor, and at least until I sort of it gets pounded into my brain that, hey, you're highly vulnerable, right? In fact, let's send these cav to charge. I've got to do more of this instead of just leading, right? Leading all these units, just send them in, right? Let's have them chase these horse archers out. The enemy's being really cagey here. And don't worry, it's not going to be ultra pacifist battles. If our enemy is really, really hesitant, and I can just tell it's going to make for horrendous watching, we will tempt fate even more. Look at these dead men. These are infantry, I think. Yeah, this is their infantry charging. I don't know what they're doing. There's like 30 of them all scattered about. Maybe they're trying to defect, right? These guys are the troops that want to join our side. Well, you guys better throw your weapons down or something so we know you want to defect, because if you're holding up your falcons and shit, I'm cutting you down. It'd be cool if there was stuff like that in Bannerlord, but alas, most of us are just hoping that there's a viable patch one day that gives us some of the things they have promised. I won't go on too many rants about Tail Worlds. I love Bannerlord, but obviously most of us would love to see Tail Worlds nurture it like like the prize game that it could be. Yeah, their horse archers continue to be cagey here, but like I said, we will get aggressive. At some point, we will try an envelopment process with them. You notice their infantry and archers are nowhere to be seen, right? Other than that, those 30 defectors or whatever you want to call those guys. Here comes some infantry, but again, it's like 20 broken units. What's this? They got heavy cav over here. Let's go ahead and block them with our second cav. A lot of guys notice that I use cav defensively, not all the time, but 80% of the time is a good number, right? We will. Oh shit, they're charging here. Charge with the 1st and 6th. Let's get our guys in here aggressively. These guys got way too close. They're gonna pay the price. It's fucking cut off ahead of Khuzait Day. Just carving them up. I feel like I'm chopping wood here. Just. All right, we got more wood for the wood fire. Of course, there I go. That's exactly what I was talking about. What, I just lose half my health in 8 seconds. I can't help it, fellas. I got bloodlust. So I'll adapt. It's going to take me a little while, but I'm probably going to be... Wazu's probably going to be laying in the dirt a lot until I sort of get back into the saddle, quite literally. Now, death spam looks good, but again, we're expending javelins. Pretty soon what happens is the archers, the Khuzait, they're going to have arrows left, and most of my troops are not, right? These guys are almost out of javelins, these Aserai Ferris. Like I said, our damage is front-loaded, and so we're going to have to get creative here, or else the second stage of this battle is going to go poorly, right? They're going to have arrows. Most horse archers have 2 quivers. I think maybe they start getting 2 quivers at like tier 3 or tier 4. That means most of these troops have 2 quivers, which means they're going to be shooting for what seems like forever, right? And of course, it's cumulative damage. So that's something that I've sort of learned when you're playing the Aserai against the Khuzait. You have to be aware that it can look good early on, and you need to be relentless, because it's very likely, like I'm going to charge here. These guys are right at the edge here, and they're not far enough away from our cav. Let's try to envelop their horse archers here. This is risky, but I'm also spurring the action. The point, though, is that you really want to anticipate a battle going well at the beginning, lots of green, and then later in the battle, you should expect it to start swinging in the enemy's favor. So you want to have an advantage at that stage, right? You want to have, look at their units are trying to reform, and we're charging. How beautiful is that? Their archers are getting fucking ran over downhill. Now they have a gigantic amount of horse archers. I mean, that must be 200 units, 250 units still. And we've been dealing these guys damage for a while. I mean, Wazu's cut down at least 10 guys himself. We're going to keep this up. Let's fucking charge these bitches. They're running downhill to try to reform. I don't want this to be an hour-long battle. That's going to happen as part of this campaign. I can't avoid it, fellas. I don't want to skip them either, at least not at this stage of the campaign. We may get to a point of the campaign where I say, yeah, we had a battle, 1,800 against 1,200 and smashed them. Or I might have like a really fast-forward version or some edited what I call highlights of them or something like that. But for this early stage where we have one city, I think it's a disservice to you guys watching and following the campaign if I'm just like, we crushed a big army of Khuzait. Wish you could have seen it, right? We're not going to show it to you. So I'm going to show you these giant battles early on. It's starting to look perilous. I just looked up at the power bar here. My health is perilous. Now, our archers were getting into position. I repositioned these guys, so obviously they're all moving and not shooting, which means it's going to be green. These are the type of things that the more you play, you sort of understand the rhythm. Now that they're in place, I expect the green, the death spam to start, whatever you call it, the death feed, to start looking a lot better for us. I'm almost dead. Now, the other thing that sucks about Wazu being almost dead is that especially with the battle size mod, all of a sudden your units get thrown into fucking chaos, right? You got archers mixed with horse archers and fucking cavalry mixed with infantry, and it becomes a big mess. So I really kind of fucked up in this battle here. I mean, I might be able to stay on my feet for another 10 minutes if I'm lucky, but so many arrows flying around, and I probably should have been a lot more defensive here. Because it's important to have a cohesive plan, right? As soon as you get knocked unconscious in a battle like this, obviously Wazu's going to be... God, I just can't help it. Sorry, fellas. Make it out of there alive. No, they shot me on the way out. Who's this? Is this Arwa? I think this is Ruwa. I think this is his daughter. But this is what I was worried about. Fortunately, these units were already in position. Now we just got to hold back all these horse archers. I do have a mix of horse archers and archers in a division. But at this stage, honestly, F1, F3 is appropriate until the next situation becomes obvious, right? It's basically, why is there so many units in that division? See, I can't even tell. It looks like there's archers mixed in there, so we'll just spread those guys out. It sure looks like a lot of archers. First and sixth can charge. The second is just holding the line here. And that's because there's still tons of horse archers coming through here wailing away at us. You motherfuckers. And I just remembered, too, there's going to be a battle after this. Or at least there's probably going to be a battle after this. So Ruwa's a bitch, right? She's like level 24 with almost no perks. How come I don't have any elite troops? I'm cycling through my units and it's all recruits and shit? How come I don't get a palace guard or something? Recruit, recruit, recruit. Come on. Well, maybe you guys know a better way to do this, but I want a character who's not going to get insta-killed, right? Half those guys I cycled through are recruits. Those are not ours either. We don't have very many recruits. Those must be units from one of these other armies here. So I got a mess. I got 5 divisions. There's infantry, archers. Okay, so we can spread archers out, charge with infantry, block with cavalry. It's not great, but we do have a nice downhill position. We do have some momentum here, and I'm going to try to stab a few horsemen. Of course, I got this worthless spear guy. I don't even think he has a sword. No, he's got a sword, but it's... I mean, what a shit situation this is. But I guess at least I can't complain. At least we're still playing, right? You don't have the RTS mod. The AI takes over. You poor guys on the console. The AI takes over here, and you're just fucking scorched. You know, who knows what they might retreat. He gets dropped like a bitch. Wait, all right, here we go. Now we're talking. 100% health Manavliaton. Let's do this shit. Let's order our units. Archers, 4th, 5th. Charge at the infantry. Let's keep pushing them downhill here. Fuck these horse archers. Maybe we can push them into the water. If we get them into the water, they'll be at least slowed down. We don't have a lot of cavalry at this stage, though, so that's a problem, right? Good luck chasing horse archers down with infantry. We'd like you to stand still. Right? It's like the Spanish Armada. Yeah, the English are there, sir. Excellent. Wait until they get close. And then as soon as they're close enough, we will board them. Sir, they're staying at range. Well, wait. Clearly, they're going to come to us and allow us to board their ships. General, they're firing cannons at range and sinking our ships over and over again. Blood is pouring out of the portholes. Well, go ahead and close to them and get in range and then board with our infantry. General, and of course this is the Spanish, I'm sort of role-playing here. General, they are moving away when we try to close and get our armada into battle for hand-to-hand. Why would they do that? That seems unethical. What are they, pansies? General, we've lost the war. God damn it, puta madre, chinga tu madre, fucking puta. That was that's my reinterpretation of the Spanish Armada's disastrous decision in 1588 to invade England and destroy the English fleet by developing an armada, basically a whole bunch of ships that were mostly troop carriers with not very good cannon technology, under the very strange presumption that the English, fully aware of this armada and the fact that they have lots of infantry, tercios and whatnot, were going to comply with the Spanish request for them to just go ahead and pull up next to the Spanish boats and fight them hand to hand. It reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones where the guy pulls out a samurai sword and he's just whipping it all over the place, and Indiana Jones is like, oh damn, and then he shoots him dead with one bullet, right? It's just like, come on, man. Anyways, I apologize if you're Spanish and I just deeply insulted your heritage, but it's one of those funny moments in history. The Spanish literally somehow thought that the English were going to cooperate with their plan, which just seems like a highly illogical, idiotic thing, but, who knows? I guess I'm 500 years in hindsight here. I'm very brilliant Monday morning quarterbacking. So it's messy, and it just turned red again because there are horse archers in the water. I was hoping we can pin them against the water, but they're deep in the water, and our archers aren't in position yet, right? We're going to have to get our archers in position here because we don't have enough cav to chase down all these horse archers. This Manavliaton's kind of nice because I can just fucking wail away at guys, and it's lethal, right? You hit guys with this. Oh, shit. We just got a little stall. Shields are flying all over the place. It's a carnage, huge battle. Okay, now our archers are in place. Now these horse archers are fucked. They're going to start getting shot We've got infantry sort of mixed in here messily. Obviously, tactics have broken down a bit at this stage. Which reminds me, you know, I had a guy ask me, he's like, I'm in a 900 versus 900 battle. And what I do is I order the tactics for the first 5 minutes. And then as soon as it gets to sort of this stage, I F1, F3. And he basically, you know, he was asking for my approval. And I said, oh, I wholeheartedly approve. The biggest key to winning Bannerlord is that first 5 or 10 minutes. Now, if you're in a really long battle, it goes a little bit beyond that. But especially in a battle of 900 versus 900, get the tactical advantage, get the defensive positioning, or, you know, a position where you could wrap up the enemy forces and get some kind of huge tactical advantage. And then, by all means, right, once you've executed a few tactical maneuvers, F1, F3, right? You don't have to do what I'm doing here. I'm identifying another little peekaboo ridge here. Their archers are coming up in the water. Their horse archers and cav are amidst us. So my plan here is simply to back up over this ridge out of range of their archers, out of reach and range of their archers, and butcher their cavalry, right? We're going to take these units on one at a time. There's horsemen and shields flying all over the place as we fucking totally shellac them here. And our archers and infantry are fighting in unison, right, against their cav. It's not going to go well for them. Now, their units are coming up here. We will have to deal with that big glob of troops, but not before we destroy all their horse archers, right, or put a dent into their forces, right? So I'm going to start getting infantry set to both flanks here in a square just so they have a little bit of protection. And then here's an F1, F3 situation, right? As soon as we get these guys close, those infantry divisions surround the enemy, we will bore in on them. I see archers standing here. That's because they're out of ammo. So it is indeed a perfectly appropriate time to F1, F3. They're all globbing one of our squares. Even better, right? That means they're distracted. Let's send these fucking archers in here and fucking finish this battle. Still cutting this line. Still holding that line pretty well. Okay. I mean, it's awful green because archers are working still. Let's go ahead and send in both wings and push in. I don't think we have to do this. We could just let our archers work and they would probably rout, but this will be the coup de grace here. Come in here with this Manavliaton and just fucking lay waste. You know, the old F1, F3, there are times where it's most certainly appropriate, right? Of course, we joke about it. I joke about it all the time. If you're using it as soon as the battle starts, yeah, obviously, please come visit the channel more. Not only are you going to have more fun with advanced tactics, but you're going to win, right? You're going to win battles that you would lose with F1, F3. Same thing with sergeants in control. Fucking kill this lord here. So this is another feature of this campaign, and of course I've already mentioned it. Let's see if we can get on a horse here. I'll run this lord down. The lords are beasts, and the very high-end lords are like almost gods on the battlefield. This guy has an escort. Looks like he has 4 or 5 heavy cataphract around him, and I bet he's got 300 or 400 hit points. Right? He's got a nasty pole arm. It looks like 52 damage. Just barely scraped the guy. He didn't even make a sound. Right? Of course. Sometimes they don't make a sound, but I'm just going to role play like he shook his head at me like, nah. And he looks like this just mean Mongol leader with a badass beard. And he's just like, come get some. So we're chasing him uphill here. This battle is over. And now I just want to see how difficult it is to kill this guy. He's stabbing me, he's stabbing my horse. Obviously, this guy's not Wazu. It'd be really interesting if I had Wazu against this guy, because this is nasty. He's blocking everything. The higher weapon skill generally a unit has, of course, the more defensive they are, the better they fight, the more they parry. This guy's blocking everything. They basically become Jet Li, right? Now, some people are going to be like, that's way too hard, way too difficult. It's not fun anymore. I like killing lords. We will adjust, right? We will get better at killing these bitches, right? The harder you make shit, you will learn to adapt, right? That's why you weight lift and keep adding more weight. Something that you could never lift a year ago. You know, you're doing 8 reps today, right? That's literally what life is all about here. So I recognize this is not the most enjoyable part of this, and I'm not going to do this over and over again in battles, but I want to see if I can kill this guy. Look at, he's blocking everything, and then he beheads my guy. That was savage. His weapon speed was incredible. What we got here? Who's this? I can't tell. I think it said Khuzait. If this is Khuzait, this is a high-level lord. Maybe we can run this guy down here. But that was interesting. I think he either fled or maybe we finally killed him. But that was really interesting just to see how strong that guy was. And I love that element of this, right? The enemy lords in this campaign are going to be beasts, just like they should be. But victory is ours, right? 205 left here. Fucking horse. And we're going to need them all. In fact, we're kind of fucked here. We're facing 1,200 more Khuzait. We're in trouble here. So, of course, we're taking prisoners this campaign. Come with us. Oh, shit, we rescued some people. Oh, shit, that's amazing. I can't even take all these troops. 311 troops that Khuzait force had there. Those are all prisoners. Look at how many troops I have. What do I do here? Let's see. There's a bunch of scrubs here on the bottom. I'm tempted just to dump them, but you know what I can do is I can dump these on these other armies that are with us. We're going to need them. We're fighting another army here of 1,200 plus. Who knows if there's another Khuzait force right around the corner. This is going to feel almost like a different game. For anybody who's watched like a standard, sort of vanilla campaign of Bannerlord, this is going to feel very, very different, right? Incredibly powerful enemies, lords blocking everything like they're elite tournament fucking champions. Getting a little auto save in here. Wazu, Wahan, oh, that's Wahan the Golden. His skills are going through the roof. We're going to attack, but not before I dump some troops. 118. 189. How is everybody full of troops? I don't understand. Is that the mod? I might have to, this is a problem. I might have to look at this and see nobody suffered any deaths. They have wounded, but no deaths. None of our units suffered any deaths? Well, that's disconcerting. I was worried that this mod might have adverse effects, but that would be a disastrously bad effect. If it just, if it made it so that our allies can't suffer death. Let me sit up in my chair here. Another fucking battle. All right, in we go. Those fans that have been clamoring for big battles, well, you get them, right? We get another monstrous battle here. Of course, our guys are injured. A lot of our best troops are injured, so we're going to be fighting this battle with a lot more scrubs. Could definitely lose this, right? Sometimes you'll win a big first battle and then suffer ultimate disappointment. And they win the second battle, and it's just as bad as losing the first because all your shit is captured. They get all those prisoners back, and we'd lose our capital. Early on here, man, are these battles critical. There will be critical battles later in the campaign too, right? Probably huge battles, 4,000 or 5,000 against 4,000 or 5,000. Obviously, I'm hoping for that. We might be in battles where it's like if we get captured, it's a pivotal battle, and somebody like Vlandia that's taken over the whole map might just start rock and rolling from that stage. But at this stage of the campaign, these truly are the definition of pivotal. We must win this battle. I mean, the Aserai kingdom is severely impinged upon. Obviously, we're a major reason why it hasn't fucking collapsed. God damn it, I keep forgetting to get a horse. Fortunately, it's easily fixed, right? A little Wazu horse jacking there, right? Just like the little coins he's taking from, he's going into the packs and shit, whatnot. He's lurking in the camps at night and taking all the coins from the troops. We're also going to take their horses. Give me your horse. When you're 7 foot tall, 450 pounds, people do what you say. All right, we've got a beautiful uphill location here. We're going to fight this a little different. I'm going to set up cav and defensive lines here. Infantry in the front with shock troops behind the 8th Corps. Oh, shit. They just seem hell-bent on killing Wazu. I mean, maybe it's because he's so big. But I swear they're just, like, aggressively attacking me. Now, I've got 2 different archer groups and a skirmisher archer group. As soon as these guys get position here, we're going to shred everything. We're shooting downhill. And as soon as there's significant damage on this force, we're going to envelop this shit. I've got a horse archer division to the enemy left flank. Obviously, we're going to be able to bring infantry and or cavalry to our left flank, the enemy's right flank. Look at these fuckers are chasing me. I mean, I know they're just circling us. Let's see, what do we do here? I need cav to block these guys, otherwise they're going to truck and run through our units here. So let's get the archers repositioned and get... Oh shit, the horses are fucking flying all over the battlefield. Squirrel. Let's get a cav division facing them and pull the 2nd and 8th to basically confront those guys. I'm not worried about the rest of their troops. They're downhill. If their archers are shooting, it's not doing anything to us. So again, kind of like the first battle here, especially because of our defensive location. It's horse archer slaughter first, and then we'll deal with the rest of them. Now that 6th division is all scrubs. I just glanced at it and it was like completely peasants. So we're going to tuck them in a square against the wall there and hope they don't get fucking completely annihilated in 20 seconds. They've got Cav pursuing our right flank. These are really interesting battlefields, these super hilly, watery battlefields. You got to give it to Tail Worlds. They obviously fuck some things up with Bannerlord, but man, the variety of battlefields make battle almost never ending. The different kinds of battle and the different feel to the battlefields, right? I've fought on this battlefield, of course, before in the practice campaign, but I've only fought on this battlefield 2 or 3 times, and it has enough dips and dikes and hills and water and trees and shit that you could fight 10 battles here and still have it be unusual. Horses are fucking flying all over the place. They charged right through our infantry here, so I countercharged. Hopefully those guys did some butchering. We're definitely mangling this force. I mean, the death spam tells you everything, right? It's almost completely green. Wazu's working his way towards another dirt nap here. Like I said, we'll see if I start to adapt with Wazu. Obviously, we're going to try to find him a nice piece of cataphract armor, legendary or whatever, something like that. But until he gets that, he's going to be laying on his back a lot. Of course, Wazu has difficulties with elevation, right? I'm both role-playing and I have a real problem with elevation. I'm sort of famous for reckless jumps and flying off of cliffs like this. If you just take one short jump there, you know, you go way too far and you get killed. So that's going to be a thing too. You can even just run straight and you'll go over a cliff and get killed. And I have like 20% health. Get the fuck out of my way. This is my lane. That was like a medieval road rage incident right there. I fucking threw my garbage out the window of my car at his fucking horse. Alright, 7th Corps on our right flank. Their support is coming. They're getting reinforcements. It's a good time now. Look at that big glob of troops. Their archers are in the water. Let's start flanking these bitches. You get fucking your ear itches right in the middle of battle. Alright, let's get the 1st and 4th over here on the enemy's right flank. We're going to start pushing Cav and shock troops down the middle. 7th Horse Archers on the enemy's left. I should probably pick a side and use it every time, and what I mean by that is I should probably pick either orientation to our army or theirs. I understand I sometimes switch right in the middle of a sentence. I think I'll try for a long time to use our orientation. That's just sort of a pledge, no promises. So we have horse archers on the right. And then on this side over here, I'm stretching out the 1st Corps with 4th Corps for support. The 4th Corps has a lot of crossbow, so they're firing away and doing some good work, doing some good damage, but they're also very capable melee, especially with the strong infantry division in front of them. It's going to function almost like 2 infantry divisions. And of course, until they're out of ammo, they're shooting. All these beautiful crossbow, they're just indispensable units to me. Some people have asked, oh shit, I'm fucked, I think. Well, like I said, and I promise that was an accident. Sometimes I fuck around with it for cutscenes and stuff like that, but Wazu's got a gravity problem, right? Isaac Newton is still 500 years away from being born. We just don't understand it very well here. But the aforementioned F1, F3 is now appropriate, right? I've got troops on their wing. That 1st Division is not quite as far over there as I'd like them to be. We can kind of stretch them out. But the archers are now raking downhill, and the enemy's compacted. Look at the death spam, right? It's just massively green. Now, they're preparing to countercharge. They're going to have some say before this battle's over, and I see peasants on our side everywhere. But I like our chances here, right? This is that win the early stage of a battle, then charge. They just charged. Of course, I got this dipshit. I think this is my shock troop guy. These guys can't even fucking get to the enemy. God damn it. Get up here. Okay, I think we're okay. It looks really ugly. There's a lot of death, but we also have a lot of scrub troops on the scene here, and we crushed the early stages of this battle, so I think we're all right. Of course, this guy's really slow. This guy needs 50 battles, right, before he starts to turn into a good companion. Right now, he's quite weak. He's got weak armor too, and almost as if to exhibit just how weak he is. And here we go with this again. They're going to give me Mamluk soldiers and Otroks. There we go. Let's get a real troop here. And of course, the AI immediately had all our troops retreat like a bitch. No, charge. We're not fucking retreating. Our archers probably don't have good line of sight anymore because they probably retreated to a spot I don't want them to be. This is getting very messy. But again, this illustrates getting killed left and right. No, I don't want that guy. Every guy giving me is in the middle of a maelstrom. Look at this. Every guy it gives me, it's like it's having fun. Oh, here, would you like another one? Let's give you another beat down. Here, take this guy who's getting mauled. And look how many peasants we have. This is disconcerting. We might lose this battle. There's more horses flying all over the place. Do I have any non-peasants? There was one guy. There we go. I am still getting used to this process. Obviously I've used our RBM or the RTS mod quite a bit, but it's not a perfect system. I do know you can fly around the battlefield and like point at the guy you want to control. But what I'm hoping is that I can sort of get used to the process and make it quickly so that I can switch out, right? We can now get these archers reset. Their infantry is pursuing. They're excited too. They're shouting and fucking, they're looking at us with their tongue is hanging out, excited. I got fucking bitches chasing me. Fuck you. And I finally have my troops in position, so I don't want... Of course, these guys are going to chase me to the edge of the map. What is this shit? What, I fuck your sister? Fuck off. This is unbelievable. These fucking guys still chasing me? They're non-stop chasing me and they're yelling, "Die, you bastard." I mean, what kind of grudge do these guys have, right? Fucking assholes. Look at this shit. And they're moving faster than me for some reason. I don't know. Fuck you. This fucking crossbow bitch. And he's yelling, "You coward." I guess you're right. I look like a bitch. Well, I gotta keep Wazu alive, right? I'm getting fucking throttled when Wazu goes down. We're back to F1, F3 here, because it's a mess, right? I'm not in control of my units, really. Fortunately, we did such a good job early in this battle. I think this battle is still ours. I mean, we worked the Khuzait for sure early in this battle. No easy victory, though, right? This could still be a loss. They've got elite troops, fucking sergeants and shit. Fuck you. And we have fucking a lot of peasants. Get up here and fight. Fucking assholes. They got a huge amount of archers here. Let's stick to 8th Corps. We can stick them right in their face. Having to have a bunch of smelly horse asses in your face, they punk ass archers. That'll keep those guys occupied till our troops turn our wrath on them. Of course, I'm just getting chased down this whole battle. The enemy's just got a fucking death ransom on my characters. All right, I just took a deep breath. I think we got things under wraps here. Our archers are positioned well. Those that don't have ammo are charging. We can finish this battle off here. Man, what a couple of gigantic battles. And I just looked down. This is going to be 40 minutes for 2 battles. So this is just a thing. You guys are welcome to leave feedback. But I think I'm going to show the majority of these critical, especially the critical ones, critical giant battles. I just, if I skip this and I lose like a battle and you guys are like, wait a minute, you lost a huge battle or you won a super tight battle and you don't show us. So there are definitely going to be some people who'd prefer I skip these and some people who want me to show them. There's that Lord, fucking asshole. This guy, you just can't kill this guy. Of course, this guy's got totally different javelin throwing than Wazu. And I've had other people say, don't try to appease everybody. I'm not. Of course, I'm getting killed by peasants now, too. This is amazing. Some episodes, you're just a bitch. And this episode is evidently my turn to feel like a bitch. I feel like we played okay, but, it's a huge battle. You guys obviously are used to stuff like this happening to you as well. This game is hard sometimes. It'll humble you. So I'm not going to worry too much about appeasing everybody, but I am trying to make this campaign interesting and flow for you fellas as well, right? If it's 50 episodes or 100 episodes, right, it needs to have a good flow to it. Otherwise, by episode 37, there's going to be 112 views and a bunch of fucking comments like, "You're still making these, dipshit? I can't believe you're still making these." I'm resolved to have these be interesting for everybody. At the same time, I understand you could never please everybody. Ask these poor politicians. All right, some ominous music at the end here, and I'm just fast forwarding it because you don't need me to run down. You don't need to watch me run down and chase down these handful of last peasants. I'm not quite certain why it's taken so long. It might be that one indestructible lord is trying to rally his troops here, so I think we'll try to cut this fuck down. Thank goodness for the RTS camera. Imagine before when you would watch a playlist, the person creating it would have to edit. And as you saw with episode 15, I'm going to do extensive editing. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes. Of course, that was the time-lapse episode, so it was most certainly necessary. I wasn't about to show you 20 years of the clock going round and round and round. We finally captured this lord. Come with us. I feel like executing him, but I'm not going to be doing that. These powerful lords. It is possible at some point I start executing lords here, but not yet. It'll probably be a long time before we're doing that. God, we got so many troops still. I actually have like a troop overload here. You know what I need is I need more territories. I need more fiefs. Wazu's got 15 hamburgers, and 1 stomach, right? He's got a problem. So I can dump off some of my troops here. But this is a good example. This is the kind of thing I'm definitely going to edit out. I don't think I want to expose you to 5 minutes of sort of evening out my troops and trying to figure out, well, this gal and this... I can tell you a few things just strategically that I like to do here, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5 minutes and straighten out my troops. I like to have attack dog units. What is an attack dog unit? Of course, it is a companion that has 70 to 90% cavalry. And their job most of the time is either defending villages from raids, right? If we get to a point of the campaign where we're being raided nonstop, what you do is you basically send them off and don't recruit them to the army, and then you set their behavior to defensive, right? So that they don't run off and try to attack enemy lords. The other major advantage of them, though, is that if the enemy's trying to get away from you, right? It has a smaller size force than you. Or they have, units that just broke up in cohesion and you want to chase them down, this companion can chase them down. In fact, right now I'm going to probably build a couple of them. I say probably because what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to stop the recording. I'm going to run to Danustakir here. I'm hoping we don't get a huge amount of deserters. We're going to run to Danustakir here and even out our units here, and then I will pick up the recording. And again, this is just classic common sense here, right? You guys definitely aren't benefiting at all from seeing me just moving units around. But I did want to explain why I'm doing that, both the skipping of it, because it's boring, but also what the purpose is, right? I want to have 2 of these companion armies have mostly cavalry and all elite troops, too. It doesn't benefit them if they have weak troops. Look at this shit. I'm overloaded everywhere. Our garrison has 600 troops? I guess it was auto-recruiting. Look at this shit. We got a problem here. So I'm going to take a minute, even all this shit out. I literally have 1,000 troops here between my companions and myself, and I have 1 fief, right? So I just robbed a bank and I have 7,000 pounds of rubies and a getaway car, or like a getaway bike. I got a problem here. All right. So I think that's probably sufficient. We'll do a little bit of quick editing here, and when I come back, everything will be all sorted out. All right, so just to give you a glance at what I did here, now we've got 292, and our companion armies are loaded for bear. I dumped off our weakest troops. We're going to start hemorrhaging money here, but it's temporary, right? Because we have stacked armies. Right now, we're actually positive cash flow, which seems impossible, but we're getting a massive amount of tribute. For some reason, there's a couple kingdoms that are paying us tribute, but this is nice. It's nice, worth showing you guys. So this is going to be part of the storyline. Cole is Wazu's first son. And it actually says, I think Cole is conventional or something like that. Cole is a warmongerer, right? This kid has grown up. Honestly, of course, this cutscene is always the same. It shows the father and son relationship is just fantastic. From the role-playing side of it, I can tell you that Cole looks at his father the same way I've been describing him to you fellas, as this non-ambitious wastrel who's just sitting in his city while his empire is destroyed. And Cole is patriotic, but Cole is also very jealous and very warmongering, right? He is pugnacious. He is belligerent. Pick your word, right? He is, I don't want to say he's an asshole, but he is a war hawk. We just got more troops back. Take a look at Cole. I'm also not going to be spending 20 minutes putting the inventory on these guys, but I do want to give him some javelins here and talk a little bit about his spec, right? We'll give him a few of the spec points. I'm curious what level he is too. If you don't know how that works, your children roughly sort of split the difference between your parents' age or your parents' level. So 17 and 38. Okay, so he's level 34, right? So this guy, literally, he's 18 years old and he's already a badass, right? So how we're going to spec this guy is actually pretty similar to Wazu. A little different, but pretty similar. We're going to have this guy focus on two-handed skill, maybe polearm, but definitely one-handed, two-handed, and throwing. So somewhat similar to Wazu, he's just going to be two-handed priority, right? We're going to start him from the get-go as a two-handed weapon guy. Now, for people wondering, how long this process is going to take, and that process, of course, I'm talking about is becoming our own kingdom. I would say, fellas, it's imminent. I do have a storyline developing, just like any movie where there's a sort of plot. The plot is thickening, so to speak, right now. That there are going to be some cutscenes coming up that sort of explains what's going on here, and then it will be New Kingdom time. I'm trying to keep you guys off balance, trying to keep you guys guessing, right? You guys already know some of the backstory, but I want some of this to have a little bit of sort of spontaneity, like any good entertaining show or movie or anything like that. I'm not taking it too seriously, of course, but I've got a few plans here, right? I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. So now what, right? We're not at war with anybody nearby here. This motherfucker... What happened? They just vanished. There they go. It looks like they fled. I think they saw us coming and they're like beating feet. Okay, so here we go. This fucking guy, we're going to make, this guy's just begging to be made an example of, right? We'll do the Joe Pesci quote from fucking Casino. I got these attack divisions. Right now they're injured, so they're not going to move as fast as they would normally. But we will unleash them, right? What we're basically doing is you disband them from your army, and then you close in on the enemy. And as you get closer, I might be doing this a little bit too early, you add them back to your army, and you can effectively then drag them towards the enemy, and they will obviously pin and corner that foe. Now here I'm going to have to do it twice, but this guy's not getting away, right? With this kind of surround and drown. This is like having three people catching a really fast chicken in a farmyard, right? If you have, you and your best two friends, you have a much better chance of catching them. So this disorganized state just broke off, and of course they just ran this down like a dog. I'm not sure how he got away there. Normally that's not how it works. They just get caught and then you kill them, but nevertheless they caught up to him again here. The law caught up to this guy, and into shackles this fuck goes. No point in recruiting troops here. We've got so many troops. I need another fief. I'm not sure I want Hussin folk. We shall see. What I really want is Vostrom. I'll just tell you that right now. I was looking at Vostrom earlier. In fact, earlier in this campaign, earlier in this vassalage state, Vostrom was ours. I like how Vostrom looks for defending it. I like its location. It's kind of centralized there. It's going to get attacked a lot, but that's okay, right? We want to have war. Here, I'm just going to protect this guy, this Khuzait force. All we're going to do is basically be the guard dog while he pounds down the city. We will just make sure that no forces attack him, right? If there's any Khuzait forces coming in to attack, we will be there to support him. I don't want to sit there, though, because sometimes these guys will sit there for 10 minutes trying to siege. These fucking asshole commanders. Now, there's a big defense force in there, so I guess you could make some argument, and I'm not going to tell you every single one of these guys. You guys can sort of see what I'm doing. When these guys come of age, I'll tell you a little bit more about them. These are, of course, our 10 children that we have to plan and spec out here. I think there's such a large defense force in there, 800. It was 1,000 I think they're starting to. I think the garrison is starting to starve. I think if we join here, this will hasten the siege. Right? We're not commanding, of course. This incompetent fuck Acre is in charge, and we're just gonna auto resolve whenever it is that he attacks. I mean, this is. I almost need like a dummy in my study that I can just choke to get my anger out every once in a while. This guy's got 6 times as many troops as the enemy has, and he's just taking forever to do something here. Do something! Attack, you stupid fuck! All right, we'll just auto resolve this. Although, oh shit! Yeah, of course, auto resolve massively favors the enemy, and we lost a lot of troops there. But you know what? It's fine. That's actually a perfect example of why you shouldn't auto resolve unless you really have to. Now, fortunately, we're going to get more troops here. This is incredible. More free troops that are relieved as prisoners, and our forces are going to be reloaded again, just as strong as before. But if we had manually done that siege, I bet we lose 500 or 300. Instead, we lost, what, almost 2,000, right? Like an insane amount of troops, which makes no sense, but that is what it is. The game is almost broken when it comes to auto-resolving defenses of cities and castles. Unfortunately, a lot of players use that to their advantage, and I don't mean like they're a bad person for doing it. I just mean they're losing out. They're missing out, right, of a lot of fun keep defenses. What I wish is that auto-resolve was somewhat effective for defending a keep, but any good commander could always exceed it. That way you were motivated to do it, right? Otherwise, a lot of guys are just going to miss the best part of this game, which is fighting out sieges, fighting tough battles. If you're playing Bannerlord and auto-resolving every battle, I really don't get it, because the campaign is not that interesting as far as moving troops around and stuff like that. It's not that dynamic. It's not like you're playing against, an AI chess opponent, right? The AI will do unbelievably stupid things sometimes, and it's once you start to snowball, it's not too difficult to conquer the map in Bannerlord. The battles are where it's at, especially the early to mid game like this, where the enemy is coming fucking hot on your heels and sending huge forces, and there's a big unknown, right? The Valandians might start to expand. At this stage of the campaign, almost anything can happen. The Valandians can take over. The Botanians are having a resurgence, right? There's like, 5-6 kingdoms that are really, really becoming strong. Now, what's amazing is that the Northern Empire was down to 1 castle. I've mentioned it a few times. These fucking peace-loving bitches. The Northern Empire had Jogurus Castle. That's it. At one point during the fast forward, I actually was watching it kind of closely for a few minutes. They were down to 1 castle, and they survived. If you don't know, if a kingdom loses all of their territory, the castles and cities, even if they have armies in the field, their kingdom just gets dissolved. Doesn't work like that with the player. But in this case, the Northern Empire was down to 1 castle. In other words, they were losing 1 castle away from being gone, and ultimately they were successful. I didn't see, but it doesn't look like we got voted in for Razi. I might have been able to sway that had I paid more attention, but that's okay. We're looking at Odok. Oh shit. Khuzait forces quickly swarming in here. We're looking at some other cities before we exit the vassal stage. I'm not ready to exit the vassal stage too, by the way, guys. Some guys are probably like, you're ready. Fuck no. I got 1 city and no castles. Do you see the armies that are running around here? Right? The Aserai have like 3 armies bigger than ours. So we're going to need some more troops here. Perfect. This guy's going to help us chase down this Khuzait force. Once we destroy this Khuzait force, then we can help them take Odok. And this might be a city I fight for. It's not the greatest defense layout. And it's not super close also to Danustica, but I do want some Khuzait battles in this campaign, so it would be obviously a good way to spur that action. And Urzener Castle, that's an outstanding castle to defend. I keep fucking forgetting. God damn it. Take the Lord's name in vain. Yeah. Apologize, Mr. Lord. We'll get ourselves a horse here and assess what's going on. They're dumping us right in here, unfortunately, because there's one other army. So ostensibly they're in charge, even though, we have 1,500 troops and they have like 12. So just 20 seconds here to split the units. 1st and 6th infantry, 2nd and 3rd cavalry, 4th, 5th archers, 7th horse archers. and we'll get an 8th Corps just because I have so many cav, and we're good to go now. Now let's see what we got going on here. This is a really interesting battlefield. We got a ridge up here. Let's see if we can get to this ridge before the enemy. We can't. We can though if we charge. Let's try to push these horse archers off it. Their archers and infantry are over the other side of this ridge, so we're going to be able to take it. Look at this fucking ridge. That is fucking beautiful. The enemy just died. I love this saying. Basically, it's a situation where tactically, if you have enough experience, you can just tell this battle's over. Now, the power bar favors us, so we might even be able to F1, F3 here. It's not like a giant revelation that we're going to win this battle, but this is going to be a destructive battle here. I've got 2 cav walls and shield wall. We're going to be able to bring up infantry skirmishers and 2 strong archer divisions, horse archers, and an attacking 8th Corps full of javelins to an enemy that now has to come over this Peekaboo Ridge. Good night. This is going to be a whipping. I will not do that every battle. Sometimes like this, I don't know. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up and play the battle. But I guess it's because if you as a battlefield commander get to a stage, get to an advanced stage of field command, you will recognize certain circumstances and instances where the tactical battlefield looks a certain way, and you know it's over. Look at this bowl the enemy has to come over. Then they face javelin throwing cavalry, dozens and dozens of archers that are knocked and loaded. What's this shit up here? Oh, this is our stupid ally with 4 or 5 troops up here. Stupid donkeys. They're over there shooting, plinking the enemy one at a time. Fucking asshole. But situations like this, the enemy, there's no 0% that they can confront this this defensive positioning. Now we attack them, but one of the things with the Khuzait is that their horse archers tend to play pretty aggressive. I love those shields. They make those different sounds and shit. Did we kill that? Kill her? All right, she's dead. There's only a handful of shields like that in the whole game. They sound different when you strike them. I wish that was. I wish they expanded on that. That's a great feature. There should be like, in my opinion, there should be like 10 or 20 sounds to shields getting struck. Right, a big wooden shield would make a thud. There should be some that sound like a fucking gong. There should be some that sound like hers, which is like a tin plate or something like that. I can afford to be patient here. I think their horse archers will commit. I've got horse archers tucked in over here. We've essentially got multiple peekaboo ridges here. The coding for horse archers is suboptimal. That's the only way to put it. I've explored the RBM mod too, and they don't do a great job either. Obviously, how the enemy should be using their horse archers is to bring their other troops up and put their horse archers behind us. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand you should attack with all your units at once, but here we are. Oh, it's almost like they listened to me. They are bringing their infantry up. Well, we're not going to let them get their horse archers behind us. We're going to pinch them off here, split our infantry, open up the middle, form the first into a square, and then we're going to totally roll this enemy infantry up with this 6th and this cav division. Look at this shit. This is going to be sick. All these shock troops. This is going to be shield and shock, of course. The enemy's boring in, and they're being shot to pieces, of course, as well. I'm not going to tell you every command here, but just moving those troops away from them, right? Their infantry is like, where the fuck? The enemy's running. No, we're not, dude. We're about to run right at you and run you over. All right, so the 6th and 2nd coming my way. Here comes this cav unit over the ridge here. The 1st is in a square. That way they can just basically take the brunt of the enemy's force here. And this 200 infantry is about to experience a very bad day, right? Here come the 6th. We can charge the horse archers in 8th. The 6th, of course, is told to charge once they're close. And then the 2nd also just envelops the enemy. And the death spam is just green, just fizzing. They're trying to bring up archers. Fuck no. We're going to give them a cav division right in their face. Throw some javelins in those punk asses' face. Die, dog. We'll chop some of these guys down. I did not give you guys a hall pass to come over our fucking Peekaboo Ridge. Give me your pass, and if you don't have one, the penalty is death. Let's get some cav up here. These archers aren't about to start shooting down at our troops here. You punk asses. Let's put a big smelly horse ass in their face. Damn, they're getting some good shots off on me. But they just paid for it. It's just spamming green. They do have some horse archers back there. We can give them the 7th and the 8th to deal with. Just keep those units moving, give them some other targets. Our 6th Corps is totally eliminating the enemy vanguard of infantry. Of course, the Khuzait doesn't usually have a lot of infantry, but that was like 150, and I bet they got a 10-to-1 KDR, or more accurately, a 10-to-1, 10 times kill ratio of people they killed, right? If they had 15 kills, they lost 150. Here, their cavalry, all I'm doing is just standard. We're just dragging our cab through them, right? And just fucking interrupting the shit out of them. And this is the kind of battle I needed after those first two where I felt kind of sloppy. This was a pretty precise destruction of this Khuzait force. Infantry's now in the face of their archers. We can continue to keep them occupied here. They got little pockets of them that they're almost having like an inadvertent peekaboo ridge here. They got horse archers? I don't see any. These look like all our troops. All our troops are advancing. That means their troops are destroyed. Yeah, run down some of these archers here, but this battle is over. Wazu's starting to feel his oats, right? We're starting to feel comfortable. Sometimes if you don't play for a while, you come back and it's a little rough. Certainly that first battle, I was sort of just remembering how to ride the bicycle, right? The Bannerlord bicycle. The timing is weird. I'm swinging this really slow axe. You fucking peasants. I think I want some hand-to-hand here. Where's my troops? We're going to join my troops here. Kill this Khan's guard. Let's find some of my troops here, and let's get down in the pits with the men here, right? We've got a nasty fucking axe here. These are peasants. I love smashing peasants with my axe. We're going to level up our axe skills here and carve these guys apart in slow-mo. Die, dog. The screen is just flushing green. Come here, fucking... That was a Battanian volunteer in their army. Shredded. Can't believe they're still fighting. They're just getting cut apart. That looked like one of the enemy lords. And that is one of the functions, right? These enemy lords are going to have 250 plus leadership and whatnot. I can't remember exactly when you get the perk, but there's a perk where your tier 3 and below or something like that won't retreat, right? So that means that the enemy's going to be fighting to the death more often. Of course, a lot of these battles at this stage, I will just fast forward. In fact, I won't force you to watch this entire thing here, right? We can speed through some of this shit. Just blaze through here with my axe, and victory is assured. All right, so what's next, right? We're going to take Odok. There's an Aserai force there already, but I'm over my little limit here that I'm trying to keep these episodes for, so we are going to wrap this episode up. 3 big victories here against the Khuzait. This is very much needed for the Aserai in this campaign. Really dealt them an ass whipping today. This was a severe ass whipping here, almost like a 7-to-1 KDR. Had that army that chased him down died. That's kind of ironic. Skills are going through the roof here, right? We're going to probably get more troops, if not more guys to ransom, right? More troops. We don't even need them. It's like obscene how many troops we have. Maybe we'll get a nice little legendary Khan's armor, whatever it's called. We definitely need to upgrade our armor. That's an agenda item. We need to get all of our companions, all our children in some nice armor. Sometimes it's hard to buy though, right? And of course, Wazu doesn't have a lot of money. It's very expensive at a market, at a store. But we can sell some loot. We're going to help them with Odok and wrap up this episode. Yeah, he lost his... dude got killed there, chasing him down for us. Zvatim has died in battle. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this episode up, fellas. I appreciate you guys. If you're still watching at this stage, you must be hardy. You must enjoy a good campaign. We will continue on, right, with our Aserai campaign. Wazu and his clan will soon be their own kingdom. When that's going to happen, I don't know. So I can't tell you, fellas. With all that said, right, you want to hit that subscribe button. Do you want to see more from the series? Please hit that like button. I appreciate you, fellas. Leave comments, criticism, all that kind of good stuff. And I will see you guys next time.